streaming, but wait. Okay, I believe we are live.
Sweet.
So if we are live, I'm just going to see where the button is to share this on my page. Oh, don't want to share my stream key. That would be bad. Oh, we can do polls, questions, graphics, prompts, distribution. Ah, event URL. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so you can find that link on my Facebook.
Okay, I've got you here. I gotta mute it so I don't hear so many instances. But yeah, yes.
Sweet. And yeah, I'm pretty sure both our
Okay,
audios should be coming across pretty good. Let's see if
nice.
anyone can confirm that. Can anyone hear us?
Okay,
Can
I'm gonna
anyone
start
see
the
us?
Instagram. Okay, we should be live on Instagram now, Dorin.
Dude.
See if I can hear it.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk
Yeah,
to do an
talk
audio
a little bit.
check.
Make sure we can hear you.
Definitely. How's it going, Nate? How's your day been?
It's good. We went trick or treating in downtown Abbotsford today.
Oh, okay.
Some local businesses were like handing out candy.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was neat. Just gotta mute. Okay. Now I'm not hearing duplicates of us everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Scott says yes. Okay.
Right on,
Perfect.
Scott. Welcome.
We got Scott on Facebook and we've got his lovely wife Karen on Instagram.
Nice.
Shout out to the McGowans there.
Welcome, welcome.
Are you guys sitting on like the same couch, just like separately watching the same thing? Right. Doran, I love your new studio setup with the lights and the texture behind you. That's really cool.
Thanks, Nate. Yeah. Installed some acoustic foam to you know, lessen the noise that I make because my kids are asleep right now. Um, and you know what I used for lighting? I just recycled the or reused the Home Depot lights that I bought like 4 years ago when I started freelance. And I got from Amazon a 4 pack of smart LEDs that I can control from like my phone. So pretty happy with the
Oh, right
setup.
on.
Yeah, low cost, very efficient, or very whatever. It does what I need it to do. Practical.
That's awesome. Oof.
You still haven't put that CD wall behind you.
No, I've kind of waffled on it. Like for those who don't know, I've like kept all my physical CDs over the years, all the ones with cool like album art, and my idea was to put them all up on the wall. And I had it in my old office on the side, and you can kind of see it a little bit on some of our older episodes, but I haven't gotten around to doing it. Slash, I don't know if it's what I want to do. I'm kind of changing my mind on it, and this is like why I haven't gotten a tattoo yet either. Every time I'm like, yeah, I want to get a tattoo with a cool design, I wait a couple months and I'm like, but do I really want that design? And I just can't commit,
Sounds like you need
you
temporary
know?
tattoos, like
Yeah,
the ones that
I
last like 4 weeks.
oh yeah, one of those. So not just like the Canada Day type where
No,
you
no,
scrub
no.
them off after a couple days.
Hmm.
Yeah, maybe I should do that, and then actually seeing it on my skin will help me
Yeah,
either say, yeah, that's a good idea.
try before you buy, or before you invest. Because you had that CD background for when we first started the podcast, so if people want to check out the first episodes, we might see Nate's backdrop there in your old
Oh
place.
yeah. is kind of on the side, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think I still had that shelf behind me, but it was like closer.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So
with me and you and Scott, we've got three, so it's a party.
yeah, we got some more on Instagram. We got Austin and
Oh, nice.
Winnie, I think.
Can
Mehdi,
can Instagram confirm that
Karen.
they can see and hear us just fine? Is my mic a bit hot?
Are you able to hear Dorin? Everybody on Instagram, are you able to hear me? Let us know. And Dorin, we gotta just wait because there's like, I don't know, what, a 10-second delay or something. What's the delay on Facebook?
It's a good question. Well, because I have the preview here, so if I wave my hands, uh-huh, more than five, more than 10, okay, more than 15, okay, 15,
Okay, I just saw your wave. Yeah.
yeah,
So Instagram is like maybe half a second behind you.
okay,
So they're pretty close.
mm-hmm. I hope, Facebook doesn't have any limitations. It doesn't tell me here anything. Um,
Like
like,
length?
yeah, oh, 8 hours max live duration. Okay,
Okay, so no all-nighters here.
well, we'll see.
How much do we have to talk about, Doran? That
Uh,
you can talk 8 hours.
oh well, we could talk about a lot of stuff that we've never talked about before, Nate. I could teach you Romanian words for 8 hours.
Oh yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah. In fact, here I'll teach you. Yeah, I'll teach you a Romanian word. I don't think I've taught you this one. I'm gonna tell it to you, and let's see if you know, what it is.
Okay.
Bec, bec,
Is it cheese?
Bec. That's how
Is
it's
it like
spelled.
milk or cheese? Some sort of
No,
food. All
no.
right.
It's okay. I'll give you a big hint. It's
Oh, hold on.
related to our industry.
Okay, 1 second. I just need to restart the Instagram one. It was stuck on my when I scene switched. It didn't switch over.
Oh, okay.
Kind of weird.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna try
Oh, you seen
s-
switch from the
the
waiting
starting screen.
screen.
It just got
Yeah.
yeah, I got stuck on that. So, so no fancy. Start streaming. Start
I'm gonna start
broadcast.
giving out likes to the people in the chat. Dude, I feel like a Twitch streamer now.
All
um,
right. Now we can see us. That's good. Can we
nice.
hear us? Yeah, to the people in the chat. That's you.
People, yeah, dude. Shout out to myself.
Shout out to yourself.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dorn, for the 100 bits.
Oh yeah.
You just start like getting your wife to donate stuff.
Oh yeah, I have a Twitch Prime I haven't used. So.
Oh, Karen. Oh, so Beck. What is Beck, Dorn?
Oh yeah.
I give up. Something
Well,
related to
no,
our
it's
industry.
something related to our industry, so it's not food.
Okay. Is it light?
Close, but you need to be more specific.
Light bulb.
Exactly. There you go, Nate.
Ah, Beck.
Beck. Yeah, means light bulb.
Beck.
There you go. Romanian word of the year. We haven't done one in such a long time. Um, yeah. What do you have? What do you have behind you there, Nate? Is that a bike or what is that? Is that a
Yeah,
like
that's
a elliptical?
yeah, it's like a fitness bike. I can't quite swivel enough to show you, but yeah, I got a kind of like it's like a Peloton, but not so crazily overpriced.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, the idea is Corinne and I can use it on these dark and dreary months. And you having kids, it's hard to sometimes find time to like exercise and stay healthy. So that's a step we're taking to try and make it easier so that we can just hop on the bike, do a quick workout,
Mm-hmm.
and then yeah, just have it be more convenient.
Okay, the Instagram is right there. Mark, good to see you. What just happened?
Oh, what's that?
Share. Oh, okay. Saw two posts on the Facebook for some reason. Yeah, first time doing a proper live stream on Facebook with
You
comments and
got it
everything.
there.
So there, yeah.
Yeah, you already
So
posted. Okay.
excuses for figuring out some technical stuff.
Right.
Should have seen us scrambling before going live.
Right. Very good.
So yeah, if any of you lovely viewers out there have any questions for me and Nate, whether it be about random stuff, silly stuff, or video, photo related stuff, feel free to ask us. We're here to interact with you guys. If there's not too many questions, we'll do some silly stuff and some video stuff. Talk about some new equipment that's come out, or uh, I have a silly game I've wanted to play with Nate for a long time. We're gonna do that with a twist.
Oh, I don't know if I know what the twist is, so.
We talked about it, Nate.
What's the twist, Dorin?
Whoosh, Dorin.
Scott, haven't watched Dune yet. It's the next movie I'll watch in theaters. But so no spoilers, please. But
Hmm.
just rest assured, I will watch it in theaters.
I have not even seen the trailer for it, but I have seen people commenting about it. Like Philip Bloom's been doing some spiels on it.
Karen says she wants to see silly stuff. Oh boy,
Well, check out our
come to
previous
the right
23
place.
episodes. Yeah. Sorry, disclaimer is just silly, not silly and entertaining. So if you want that. Hey, Bill. Question: would you rather film 12 hours or video edit for 12 hours? Um, Nate, do you have an answer for that?
Oh, I'll take this one.
Yeah.
I would 100% rather film for 12 hours. Definitely.
Whoa, I was gonna say probably video edit because I mean it depends. Am I filming like sitting down? I have filmed for not consecutive 12 hours, but I've had like 14-hour days, obviously with like 1 hour breaks every 4 hours, but or half-hour breaks. But if it's like standing up and operating like equipment and like shoulder rig or something, like 12, I'd rather do 12 hours of video editing and like being in the comfort of my office.
Hmm.
Just because I'm out of shape that way. If I would be in shape enough to film, yeah, it would be a blast to film the whole day.
Hmm. For me, just like video editing, I best do it in sprints. So like 12 hours would take me like so long to get that much actual editing done because like I'll do it for like maybe an hour or
Hmm.
like an hour and a half and then I need a mental break. I can't just do like 12 hours in a row. Whereas filming, I feel like it's easier for me to focus for let's say 6 hours and a 1 hour break and then another 6 hours. I'd say that'd be a more of a typical film shoot, whereas I cannot edit well for 6 hours in a row.
Hmm.
I just like my eyes start to glaze over and without like performance enhancing drugs or something, I don't think I could do it. And even if I'm not in the best shape, like yeah, it'd get you in shape if you're like moving around with a heavy rig and stuff. So,
Yeah,
Bill,
true.
my answer is I'd rather film for 12 hours.
Hmm. Right on, Nate.
Yeah, editing is mentally draining. That's right, Mark. I agree. So,
Yeah,
Darn, it sounds
I,
like
I partially agree with that. It depends. Depends what you're editing and how complex, and if you have, if it's a creative thing, like you have to do like a artistic type video, um, and you don't know, like you got a mental block, then yeah, I totally agree. Like after 1 hour of like I don't know how to, like I want to do something epic and I don't know how to execute it. Yeah, I need a break. Like I need to sleep on it. I need to never see that project again until I have an idea. So I agree with that. But most of the time for my projects, I like know what the edit is, and um, I think for me the most chill part of editing a project is setting up the project. So like
oh
creating
yeah,
the
I love
Premiere
that
project
part.
file, like okay, let's organize the folders, let's make the sequences, let's make the multicam, um,
Hmm.
that kind of stuff.
Me too. Yeah, culling the clips, getting rid of all the junk you'll know you never use,
Hmm.
renaming the clips to like better organize them. Yeah,
Oh
that's like
yeah, yeah, like
my
selecting
happy
the
place
best
too.
highlights is
Yeah.
fun. And then when you like, okay, I need to make a 1 minute highlight video out of from 2 hours of footage, I have 15 minutes of highlights. Like, oh man, that's tough. Yeah, that's tough. Which is
Yeah,
why
you're
if you
running.
do a storyboard where you kind of see what other creatives have done in similar fashions and talk with it with your client and they're like, "Oh yeah, we like this type of shot." You already know.
Hmm.
All
Yeah.
right, Bill, thanks for the answer. I feel the same way about editing. However, I won't film 12 hours either, because I mostly do guerrilla filmmaking. Ooh, nice.
Yeah, that can be rougher and harder to do for sure than, for example, an event or
Mm-hmm.
a live stream where you just plonk yourself down and
Yeah.
just make sure everything is running.
Shout out to Bill, by the way, who's a client of mine, and I've had the honor of being a camera operator for the Amazing Hunt, which is like kind of like an amazing race type of show that he's doing here in Vancouver, which is really fun. We just did one last weekend, and it was crazy. I'm not gonna spoil it by saying what happened, but it was like Halloween themed, sort of like sweets, but for adults. And hashtag love sweet was what we were using, I believe. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. If if I was again in better shape, I would have loved to be a contestant and participate in some of the crazy stuff that they did. But it was fun just filming it. So thank you, Bill, for coming on tonight and interacting with us. And yeah, you definitely have insane video editing responsibilities, Bill, to like make like a 50-minute amazing hunt, amazing race style video edit from like what 3 or 4 camera angles. Yeah, it's and you do that like several of those a year. So that's impressive, man.
Props to Bill for sure. Scott asks, "What's your favorite editing software?" Doran, why don't you go first?
Thank you, Nate. Just trying to swallow.
Also,
Um,
welcome Ryan on Instagram. Thanks for joining, Ryan. All right, go
Well,
for it.
favorite editing is it's I can't give a complete answer because I haven't fully engaged in too many video editing softwares. So when I started as a hobbyist, I learned it with Sony Vegas, which is I think PC only. Obviously Windows Movie Maker. When you're a kid, you play around with that, and that magic of discovering how to do a transition or an effect for the first time, Sony Vegas will always hold a special place in my, in my memories, about the coolest feeling I've ever had video editing. But then in school, I learned After Effects and Final Cut and Premiere. Um, I haven't played enough with Davinci. I should do more, but it looks intimidating for me. So I prefer Premiere because of um, easier interface, more user friendly.
Okay, okay.
What about you, Nate?
Well, I definitely remember times like in elementary school, like what you were saying, the first time you learned how to use an effect. For me, that was using iMovie on the iMacs that we had in the computer lab, making movies where like you use the rain effect and like a camera shake and tint it all blue to make it look like it's a stormy boat scene, or like learning how to slow down clips, reverse them, all that kind of basic stuff. That was like so much fun, and I think that was first where I yeah developed like a love of video editing and filming stuff. As for my favorite right now, I've tried DaVinci Resolve and it's got some definite advantages over Premiere, but my muscle memory and all my hotkey memorizations and the integration with the other Adobe products means Premiere has to be my favorite editing software. I can get things done really fast. Um, as long as you don't update too quickly, it can be fairly stable. Like, don't always jump on the new release right away. I
Yeah.
learned that one the hard way. Uh, but yeah, I love the integration with Photoshop and with After Effects, how you can dynamic link things, Adobe Audition.
Mm-hmm.
So DaVinci Resolve kind of brings all that under one umbrella. So there's like different tabs, and you can like do a workflow where you go through each step. So that's just a different way of doing it. And I really like the audio syncing. Like if you have a separate audio recording and you sync it up, it will automatically trim the audio to fit exactly the video clips. That's a behavior you can do. And I found that really helpful when I had a few different sources of audio and I just wanted to use the clips. So that's
Hmm.
something that I think Premiere could implement instead of the way it does multicam. So it's all different, sub sequences and big giant layers that you have to trim and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I still think Premiere Pro's got to be my favorite. Scott, that's my answer.
Here's a question for you, Nate. Since you've had more experience with DaVinci than I have, compared to Premiere, does DaVinci have any platforms that support its creative workflow? For example, Storyblocks and other stock footage type of sites or creative sites have templates for After Effects and Premiere. There's a bunch of plugins for transitions that you can just download from different video creators or filmmakers. Does DaVinci have a community or support like that? Have you explored it at all?
I haven't explored that, no.
Hmm.
And I think,
Because I would say that that's why Premiere is even more of a preferred for me. Because if a client's like, oh, I need like a Christmas template or sorry, a Christmas looking intro, Storyblocks, After Effects, or Premiere, done. You know,
mhm,
whereas with DaVinci, I'd be like,
yeah, for that, maybe you just do that section in Premiere After Effects and then import it in. But I think it's going to keep gaining traction
oh yeah.
because, like, the free version is already so useful, and you can export in 4K and all this stuff. They used to have more limitations on it, but they're really opening it up.
Hmm.
Um,
Doesn't
so
DaVinci has its own like hardware too, right?
yeah,
Specifically for
there's
color
control.
grading. Does Premiere have something like that? Like specifically made for it by the company that made it? Like Adobe? Does Adobe have
Probably
like
not made by Adobe, but there's definitely third-party solutions that
mm-hmm.
integrate with it. But yeah, Blackmagic, like you're right, actually, they make their own cameras, they make their own control surface, they make their own software. So theoretically, if you had all those, they could play really nicely together, and they can be quicker at implementing newer raw codecs and stuff like that. I
Mm-hmm.
know Adobe is like they'll drag their feet on implementing new Blackmagic raw codecs because they're like, no, we don't want you to use their camera. It's like, why not just add it? Make it easier for the end user. So yeah, yeah, it's a love-hate relationship with Adobe
Mm.
for me.
Yeah. Yet here we are still using it after what, like when did I start using it in 2011? So like 10 plus years.
Yeah, I think that was the first one I learned after Windows Movie Maker when I was like a teenager. So more than 10 years.
Oh man, one podcast episode we have to fool around it, doing Premiere CS6 JKL stuff. That one would be ridiculously silly. Um,
Oh, totally.
here's a question from Bill for you, Nate. Sounds like you
Yep.
were working on some big projects with multiple audio syncing. What's your favorite type of project?
Ooh, favorite type of project.
Mm-hmm.
Um, honestly, I love anything to do that's heavily focused on music. So not so much dialogue, but I love it creating, for example, like a highlight promo video for a client, and they choose a song or I've got a song in mind, and then like you try and you create the visuals with the music in mind. And then when you watch it, it just like hits you on the auditory level and the visual level. And short projects, honestly. I've never done like a full length documentary, but to me, that sounds absolutely brutal combing through hundreds of hours of footage just to make like one, let's say, 45-minute product. That
Mm.
sounds like so. My favorite projects are the short and sweet ones that are like focused heavily on music. So ideally music videos, but I haven't done a music video yet.
Mm-hmm.
Scott Scott McGowan actually, he's he's an artist and he created the Evan Williams project. So Scott, maybe we should collab and do a music video for your one of your new songs. Thanks for the question, Bill.
Yeah, good questions. Would you ever do like would you have your own initiative to do like a small scale documentary, like a 30-minute quick, like you don't need hundreds of hours of footage because you already pick a specific subject or topic or theme, or you just cover an event.
Hmm.
Like let's say the Canucks get to the finals, and you're just gonna go and make a documentary about like the biggest fan that they have, that's like the most like vocal and like dresses up crazy, and you just follow him for the game day and just show his point of view. Would you ever do something like that?
Oof. I don't know.
I feel like I
I
would
think
want to do that someday.
if it wasn't just me, like if I had somebody who could do like the assembly rough cuts and go through like the first rough few stages, then that would eliminate that pain point for me, and then I could focus more on telling the story through the footage that you have. Because a documentary is
Okay,
never just
so
covering the
oh,
facts, right? There is some element of storytelling in it for sure.
so you would want to film it, you would want to direct it, sort of. You would want someone else to pick the highlight chunks, but you would be the one that would weave them together. Is that correct?
Yeah, so yeah,
Wow.
so let's say I would take it
Hmm.
on, but only if I had the support of someone else who
You
could
got me,
do
buddy.
the stuff that I don't.
Yeah, I'll do it. That's fun.
Right on.
Yeah. Hey,
Bianca,
Yonka.
nice
Hi.
to meet you again,
Yeah.
virtually. Nice. You and Mikhail
Nice,
watching.
nice
Awesome.
guys. Yeah, we're gonna be doing some silly game in a couple of minutes here. Um, or oh, you know what we could do? Hold on. Let me see interactivity polls. Okay, I'm gonna do a poll question.
All right,
What?
this is for the Facebook viewers out there.
Yeah.
Instagram viewers, I will relay to you what is happening
Yeah, what should we
because
do?
Instagram doesn't have that.
Silly game or talk about new gear?
Oh, I know what Karen's answer is going to be. She asked for silly stuff earlier, so I know her vote.
Okay. I clicked create poll. I don't see what's happening. Did I? Is the poll on Facebook now? So I created the
Let's
poll.
see.
How do I put it?
All right. Well, let's see if it pops up somewhere.
Default file or slow restricted. I don't want to do that. Goals, stream metrics. No.
Can you do it as like a comment? Or does it?
Oh, publish a poll. There it is. Yeah, I've already been here. Okay. Okay, so if I say save. Oh, activate poll. Okay, that's a
Publish and activate are different.
that's kind of weird, but okay.
Wow. Thanks,
So
Zuckerberg.
I activated a poll, and
Right. Okay.
where do I
Silly
see
game.
it?
Talk about new gear. It pops up at the bottom. Anybody on Instagram, let us know if you want us to talk about
Yeah.
new gear or play a silly game.
Yeah, first. We'll probably do both in some measure, but which one do you want first?
Sure.
And I'm gonna have to full screen this because I don't see it. Oh, okay. I think I see it now. Hmm. Yeah, I don't really like Facebook's interface for live streaming. It doesn't seem to be like it's cluttered, but it doesn't seem to like I have to look around a lot for stuff.
Mm.
Like this poll thing. Like, okay, it's active. How do I see results?
I know I voted, so you should have at least one result there.
I don't know.
Do you have to go back to that poll you created? where you like publish and activate it? Is there like a view results?
So if I go interactivity polls, it's showing me that this one's active, and it doesn't show me anybody voted on anything. Anyway.
Okay.
Okay, so how about you just tell me what you did, Nate? What did you vote on?
I voted silly game, and I know Karen
Oh.
voted silly game.
Okay, we're doing
So
silly game. So let's get ready
there
to
we
do our
go.
transition, Nate. Let me know when you're ready.
All right, go for it.
Okay, give me a second and transition. Okay, let's see. Did the transition survive on Facebook? There's a 15-second delay. So on Facebook, at the very least, you should be seeing kind of me and Nate in smaller windows and a Would You Rather. We're gonna play Would You Rather. This is just a silly, stupid game where ridiculous questions are asked that make you make like like very meaningful decisions. It's kind of testing your whatever morals or brain or psychology. But the twist is we're gonna do two types of answers. We're gonna do our personal answer, like what would I personally do? What would I personally choose? But what would a diehard videographer choose? Is the twist. so
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 looking at it from your personal lens and your lens of
yeah.
just being a
So if
videographer.
my life depended on it from a videography point of view, what would I choose? And they just have an example here, like, would you rather lead a boring life from here forward or reborn with all your memories into a baby of the opposite sex? And 77% of the people would rather be reborn with all the memories into a baby of the opposite sex. Um, so this one's we already see the percentages, but just for fun and giggles, like, what would you personally choose, Nate?
I'd be reborn.
Hmm.
Despite all the setbacks that you may have going forward instead of growing up when you did with any advantages you had, having all your memories is such a game changer, man.
Yeah, it is. I agree. And you get to live out, the opposite sex too. So that's like full circle on the experience. You know exactly how the other sex feels. Like you don't know what it's like. Like I know, I remember. Yeah, personally, I would agree. Um, and especially from a videographer point of view, I would have to agree. All my videographer knowledge. Let's
Oh
go.
man. Be like a 3-year-old running around with a camera and you're like better than a 20-year-old, you know? Nothing against 20-year-olds, but if you're a 3-year-old who can do that,
Yeah.
that's pretty next level. You could go viral.
Okay.
All right.
So I clicked it. It's supposed to give me. Oh, I get a new one.
Right. You have to hit
Uh,
the either button.
well, normally you just click it and it. Oh, next. Okay. Next question. There
Oh
we go.
yeah.
Figured it out. All right.
Okay.
Would you rather be topless all the time or pantless all the time?
Yes, topless all the time or pantless all the time. Hmm. Okay.
This would be
Do you
answered
want to go first?
differently if we were with our memories in the opposite sex one. Yeah. Personally, um, okay. So personally, yeah, I would rather be, I think, pantless all the time because I'm not ashamed.
Okay.
And
You're still wearing underwear as far as I understand.
exactly, right? And some underwear has some cool designs, right?
Okay.
And yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't know how you are, but in cold weather, I freeze up faster in my upper body than my lower body. And you've probably seen this is I don't know if this is just a Canadian thing, but I've seen so many people walk out with like a thick jacket on but shorts and like flip-flops. So it's like I don't know. I'm that guy. What do you do
Okay.
personally?
I think I'd rather be topless all the time. I
Yeah.
like having pockets. I like having pants where I can like sit down in something and my legs don't like stick to the surface.
Mm-hmm. True.
Um, I appreciate
But your
that.
back is gonna stick.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have my back stick than my legs stick. I think it's
Ooh.
easier to lean forward keyboard than to like
Oh
shift
no.
my legs all the way up.
Yeah. And you can have more
Uh,
pockets in a jacket.
True, you can have pockets. I can have cargo pants though.
I've never had them, so yeah,
Oh man,
fair
I
enough.
that's my next level dad ascension. Is I need some heavy duty cargo pants.
That is such okay,
And if you're
from
living,
mhm.
I was just gonna say, if you live in whether it's a cold climate or a warm climate, I think pants would keep me warmer than a coat and having my legs freezing.
And let us know in the chat, what would you choose from a personal point of view? Yonka said me too to the other one, so she'd rather be reborn with her memories and opposite sex. From a videographer point of view, topless or pantless?
Okay.
I think what do you like? Yeah, like I would want clothes between me and the equipment, so I would have to go
Mm.
pantless again.
You know what? I was gonna say I would actually go pantless for videographer because if you're standing behind the camera and the talent is watching you, if you don't have a shirt on, that's probably way more distracting than if you have like a big coat that can kind of go down to your knees, like a parka or like a maybe not a trench coat. That'd be a little weird, but
Oh yeah,
it might be easier to just like be more subtle and not throw whoever you're filming off.
yeah.
If you're topless, it's just so blatantly in your face right away, distracting. So I think as a videographer, yeah, I'd probably go pantless then.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna click it and let's see. Oh, 76% of people would be topless. Interesting. They're not videographers though, so what do they know? Okay, moving on to the next one. Would you rather live without your cell phone or live without your iPod? So this is a dated question.
Can we just go next? They're the same thing now.
Okay. Would you rather watch Lost or watch The Office? So the
Now, Doran, have you watched both of these shows?
no. I think I watched the first episode of The Office and I'm like, no. I'm sorry. I need to be in a specific mood to resort to this type of humor. Didn't really click with me.
And what do you know about Lost?
Mm, nothing? Is it a zombie
Okay.
thing? Is it a
No, it's
game?
not a zombie thing.
Okay,
No,
then
it's a.
I have zero information about it. So
Oh,
yeah.
it sounds
So
by
I'm
default.
gonna base my decision based on how you briefly describe these to me, if you've seen them both.
Okay. Well, I don't know what to say to you about The Office
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a fan and I'm always in the mood for that type of humor.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the first season is a little more dull and slow. I felt like they were trying to emulate more of the British Office. I'm
Mm-hmm.
assuming this is the American Office.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I think the pilot was like a basically a remake of one of the Office British
Mm-hmm.
versions. So I could see how the first episode may be off-putting, but the rest of it, um, I just really think it's really smartly written and the characters are
Mm-hmm.
hilarious. I will admit I haven't seen any episodes of Lost.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in high school, it was big. Like my group of friends were like, "Did you watch the episode last night? Oh my goodness, what happened?" But basically, Doran, it's a group of strangers. They don't know each other. Have a plane crash and they end up deserted on an island.
Okay.
And as far as I know, I forget how many seasons there are, but basically it's them exploring the island, having conflicts and relationships with each other, and it kind of gets to a level where it's like there's things that are more. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah. So I think
You
Office
get the
then.
idea? Okay.
Like, don't get me wrong, I
You go
love
Office.
Steve Carell, and that's the only reason I even like wanted to watch it is for his acting because I really appreciate it.
Mm.
And all the memes that I see from The Office are like top tier memes. Like I love the memes from The Office. So yeah, but I just need to be in a specific mood. The problem is uh I need to be like immersed. Like it can't be so blatantly like we're just fooling around. We're not really making a believable, funny story. Like some like
Mm.
for example, Hangover is like very relatable because like yeah, there's people stupid enough to do this kind of stuff, right? to get into these kind of problems, whereas the personas in the office are just not believable enough for me. Um, so that's why like I just have an immersion problem with it.
I love how you chose The Hangover because it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, I think people waking up in a hotel with a tiger in the room is more realistic than like a
yeah.
geeky guy at work.
Yeah, but it's the geekiness I don't mind. It's they go like full on creep on a lot of characters and like full on awkward to beyond like anything that I can imagine.
Mm,
But it's in a very like slow way. It's not like so like yeah, maybe I'm yeah like hangovers like if it's cheap comedy then yeah, I guess I would be more into that kind of stuff. But that was just the first example I could think of.
mm,
Like I would watch a Jim Carrey movie over The Office any day of the week.
mm. There's some
Yeah.
good Jim Carrey
Yeah,
movies.
because he I don't know, he sells me on his character, which is ridiculous, and I don't think I would ever meet anyone that acts like him. But I don't know, he acts his persona so well that it seems believable.
Mm.
Anyway, yeah, so there you go. Oh, I would have expected this to be more percentage towards The Office. And another lovely thing about this game is you get to collect or lose points with people. So Bill right now might be like, yeah, if Dorin doesn't like The Office, he's not coming back to film The Amazing. So, um, all right, moving on to the next one. Would you rather ride in a hot air balloon or ride in a hovercraft? Okay, so like personally, a hovercraft is way cooler. You don't get the same height, but I don't know, you get to zip around, and I think it would be more practical for everyday life. So that's one issue with Would You Rather is context is not given. Like, is it a one-time ride or is it like would you rather ride as your main type of transportation or whatever? So even if it's a one-time ride, a hovercraft I think would be
Yeah.
more exciting and more pleasing personally.
Mm. Okay.
And I guess let's just do both the personal and videographer at once, I guess, just to
Sure.
yeah, to not cut each other off too much.
Hmm.
Personally, as a videographer, though, maybe I don't know. Both of them have an equal appeal. Depends what shot I need to get. But obviously, hot air balloon has less maneuverability, but it has the height factor. Um, so I don't know if I were to compare it to what work I'm currently doing, hovercraft would be more useful for me. Um, with a gimbal, yeah, zipping around doing shots.
All right. I think personally, I'd rather ride in a hot air balloon. I haven't done
Really?
either of these things, but hot air balloon I think sounds more fun. If, from what I've heard, it's like super peaceful,
Oh yeah.
very nice and slow, and you can really take in the scenery around you. Whereas a hovercraft, it's cool, and yeah, you can go on land, you can go on water, but it's just super loud and the whole time, and you got these massive earmuffs, and you're just like, okay, so I could be doing what I do in a car or doing what I do in a boat, and I've already done a car and a boat before, so this is just eliminating the need for that transition. So to me, hot air is more novel, more exciting.
hmm
Um, as for videographer, I think I would rather go hot air balloon because imagine, with drones, you have to get a lot of permits depending on where you want to film and fly.
In a
If
hot
you
air
get
balloon, you can
clearance
fly with
with
no
a hot
permit.
air balloon, you can go really quietly and you
Yeah.
can get awesome shots. And they're
I
like
think
drone shots you could get.
I wonder now, can you just own a hot air balloon and just launch it wherever you want? Would the
No,
argument be like, "Oh, I'm so visible, a plane can just go around me"?
I really doubt it, especially
Yeah.
since you can't control which direction you even go.
Oh, right. Yeah, you
You
can
know,
control ascending and descending by how much hot air, right? But
yeah.
yeah, you're right. Ooh.
So, but if you stay tethered close to where you want to film,
Oh, I see. Yeah.
and you could just, hey, I want to get a quick drone shot of this wedding. Here, hold on. Go all the way up. It's nice and
Okay.
quiet, doesn't disturb anybody, and you get some sweet aerial shots.
So here's another mini game for you, Nate. Which one of these do you think has the higher percentage? of random people
Uh,
voting on?
I think people are gonna say hot air balloon.
Only
Oof.
20%. Youch.
People are
Pe-
people are
People are
into
12.
hovercraft.
Yeah. 12-year-olds use this site. Hovercraft. All right. And Mark with the hot air balloon. Right on.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, more cinematic. That's what.
Yeah, the cinematic.
Oh, be eaten by a zombie or be burnt at the stake. Um,
As a videographer, I'd rather do neither. I'd be eaten by zombies so that I can make it part of a zombie movie, I guess.
hey,
And
Yonko
the
would go with the
camera
balloon
won't
too.
burn.
Um,
Yeah.
hmm. What about personally?
Personally,
Like,
I don't know which is Oh, okay. Personally,
uh
I'd rather be burnt to the stake because I'd hate to become a zombie
hmm
and then have that difficult choice for my friends or loved ones to have to like headshot me to kill me. And like they like, oh, but what if we can find a cure and rescue him?
yeah,
There's some zombie movies that deal with that dilemma, right?
yeah,
I'd rather be burnt to the stakes. There is no dilemma. It's just like, okay, that's the cremation. Perfect.
yeah. I mean, this is one of those like questions that like makes you think like, okay, which one is like least painful or least traumatic?
Mm,
So eaten by a zombie, I assume he's gonna eat you slow and might take hours before you go. Whereas burnt at the stake, you're done in like a minute.
mm.
Like you don't completely burn up in a minute, but you're gone in like. But it's a way more excruciating pain. But personally, burnt. If I had to choose between these two, personally, neither. In my sleep, please. But as a videographer, I'm trying to think. Okay, what would the coolest shot be? So I think slow motion burning would be the way I'd go as a videographer too.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll admit.
No, it wouldn't, but it would in a second twist. Seeing someone burn.
Anything for the shot.
Yeah. Oh.
Zombie one.
Very, very close. Oh, and you can see the numbers too. Like, whoa, like over like 1.3 million people have played this game. This beautiful, beautiful game. We'll do like five more and then we'll switch over. Is that okay?
Sure, let's make them quicker if we're doing
Yep.
five more, I think.
All right.
All right.
Would you rather lie, and they have to be good, so some of these might be a skip. Would you rather lie in the grass and read a book, or stay inside and watch excellent TV? What does excellent TV mean? Like the TV's 4K, or you're watching like top
Whoa.
quality, like Planet Earth serial killer
Yeah,
documentaries or something? I don't know.
what's excellent TV to you?
I don't know. Like other than like Animal Planet or like stuff that isn't interpreted by man necessarily. I don't think there is excellent TV. I haven't seen it in a long time.
Okay, well, for me, excellent TV would be like really solid dramas, like Breaking Bad, like True Detective season one.
Also, entertainment.
Um, yeah, I think
Hmm.
that'd be considered excellent TV
Okay, I
in
see.
my mind.
Hmm.
So, personally, I'd probably stay inside and watch excellent TV. I
Ooh,
don't read books very much anymore.
Mark with a TV,
Sorry.
Yonko with a book. Um,
Okay.
what about as a videographer, Nate?
As a videographer, I'd rather watch excellent TV so I
Yeah,
can study the techniques
I
of like
100% agree with that. Yeah, ever since I
how they're
became a
made, you know?
videographer, I can't watch a normal movie or TV commercial or anything without like dissecting it. Like, oh, this is the lighting, this is the camera angle, this is the shutter speed, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, like lying in the grass is fun, but I would hate to read a book while, like, I'd rather enjoy scenery than read a book on grass. I don't know. A book's like a thing I would read if it's like raining and I'm inside by like a
Mm,
fireplace or something. But yeah, like I don't read books ever, so. But if I were to, but I'm gonna guess most people want TV.
see.
Really?
That's pretty close.
Hmm. Interesting. Interesting. All right. Would you rather enter a Sicilian
So if you had to be
bull?
tortured, would you rather?
Oh, I didn't see the top part. Oh, context. Look at
Yeah.
that. If you had to be tortured, would you rather enter a Sicilian bull? Oh, now I know what that is. It's that copper or brass or whatever metal bowl, and you're inside, and you slowly like get cooked inside of it, and your screams come out as a bellowing of the bowl.
That's where they like boil and you're inside. Like they
You're
boil
inside the bowl
the
and they
bowl.
heat the bowl underneath, so you cook like inside, and your screams are like going through a complex series of pipes, and your screams just come out as like a like besides being
Okay.
a torture, it's also like very twisted in how they use your screams to entertain themselves. I don't know. It's or so would
Okay.
you
And
rather do that horrible way, or would you rather wear Spanish boots?
okay, so I just looked up what that is, so I can tell you.
Okay.
I love how we consider this like a relevant, good question.
Yeah, like is this dissing like some shoes company?
So the Spanish boot was an iron casing for the leg and foot. Wood or iron wedges were hammered in between the casing and the victim's flesh. A similar device, commonly referred to as a shin crusher, squeezed the calf between the two curved iron plates, studded with spikes, teeth, and knobs, basically to fracture your leg bones.
I'm looking up pictures now that I will not be putting on stream, but so this that just seems purely torture and not killing you, it seems like. So I'd rather have that.
Basically. Yeah, I'd rather do the Spanish boots. The bowl where you're like all the way inside it, that just sounds like super claustrophobic and dark and hurting
Yeah.
your body all over. Uh, Spanish boots, that's just your legs. So I feel like that's the lesser of two evils.
Mm-hmm.
Scott, however, says modern scholars don't agree that the Sicilian bull actually existed and may have just been propaganda. So
Hmm.
he chooses bull because it may have not existed.
Ah, I see.
Okay.
Well, I think you could do a very sweet cinematography thing with the bull, like have a GoPro inside, like buried alive, like bold or something.
Like like you film yourself like a found footage thing, and then right
Yeah,
before you die, you like toss the camera out the mouth or something.
yeah, yeah. The bull excretes it. Anyway, I think most people went Spanish boots. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Do we want to do this one?
sure.
Okay.
So, would you rather listen to only old Broadway musical songs or listen to only Christmas music?
Um, I like Broadway probably.
Yeah, you choose Broadway.
Yeah. And probably I would have more fun creating a video for a Broadway musical than for a Christmas musical.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think I'd go Christmas because I think I already know a few songs that I like that are Christmas music.
Mhm.
Whereas I don't know any old Broadway music that I'm like, yeah, that's a banger. I love that song.
Yeah, I'm more
So
in the camp of like I hate Christmas music, and if I hear it and it's November, I like
you
like
get triggered.
yeah, I just get like from a week to a
All
month
right.
to a whole season. But which one do you think is more voted? Probably Christmas.
Oh, oh,
Whoa.
Broadway.
Okay. Hmm. Okay. Ooh. Oh, okay. This one's I like extra twists in these. Would you rather beat a tiger in a fight who ate a man, or would you rather beat a man in a fight who ate a tiger? So the tiger ate a man, you go beat him,
Hmm.
or the man, wait, beat a man in a fight who ate a tiger. I
Okay.
don't know, you go, but I
I
don't know where to start.
I would rather beat a tiger in a fight who ate a man because I think that gives you better bragging rights.
Oh, so this is a
Saying, "Oh,
guaranteed beating. So you.
well, it says that."
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Yeah, it's
then
not say die to a tiger, die to a man. So I interpret it
right.
as it's inevitable that you beat them. So I'd rather say, yeah, I beat a tiger in a fight who is a man-eating tiger than
Mm,
I beat up a guy who killed a tiger with his bare hands. I'd rather beat the tiger. I
right.
think that
I
sounds
think the
cool.
word they should have used is fight. Would you rather fight a tiger? Yeah. Because
Yeah,
if it's a
probably.
guaranteed beating, then yeah, obviously it's a tiger from both points of view.
Mark on Facebook says beat a man because man sucks. Tigers rule.
Yeah.
Tigers do rule. Yeah.
50-50 though, Nate. Interesting.
Oof, that's close.
Oh yeah, Mark, you're gonna get some hearts right there, buddy. There you go. And last one.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the deep ones. I was hoping to get more deep ones, but we got some silly ones. Would you rather know everything and die tomorrow, or would you rather live like you do now, forever and be ignorant?
Mm. Kind of like a red pill, blue pill situation
Mm-hmm.
with the Matrix, but you died of it all. Huh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, because what are the implications? If knowing everything, how would that change your life and make it worth it for one day? Versus you just live your life like you do now, like we're clueless about a bunch of things. The world's so
And
big
have
and so
eternal life.
complex. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Oh,
never
live
die.
forever. Oh, then
Yeah,
that okay. I think
not just live
I
the
think
rest of your
this
life.
would have been more challenging if you knew everything and you lived 10 years. Um
Mm.
rather because forever is like GG, it's done. Live forever.
Yeah, I think
And
I
be
agree.
ignorant, so that means you don't use your forever status to learn anything too deep.
Yeah. Mark says know everything. Yeah, it'd be I guess great to have an answer at all those burning questions, but you die tomorrow. You don't have time to like pass on all that information to anybody who can actually use it.
Unless you do a
I think that
Facebook
would
Live, but you're limited to 8 hours. Um, I don't know. Like personally, uh, uh, yeah, I can't like. None of these are really appealing to me in the way that they're set up, and that's how you know this is a good one.
Mhm.
But probably live forever.
Because even if you're ignorant to all new things that are happening, you can still achieve amazing things with the knowledge that you already have. You just things that just take time.
I love Bill's answer. Live is better so I can just edit or film 12 hours without knowing how much work one has to put in. Work ignorantly. Like, yeah, I'll work 14-hour shifts. And I mean, yeah, like I'd rather film a bunch of stuff for a long time and make videos rather than like do a really sweet one-time edit and that's it, I'm gone. I don't know.
Hmm.
Like that's weird because that's what I would videographer, but personally videographer do. If I was a videographer going for fame, I would obviously know everything, do a insane whatever I can do to film and edit in my time left and leave like an amazing gem for everyone.
Mm. You don't even have to edit it. You can just film it and like give the footage to
Oh
someone
yeah.
you trust
Yeah,
and
yeah.
say, "I'm gonna die tomorrow.
Or
Make
live
this
it.
video."
Yeah. Hmm. Live forever. Really? Yeah. I mean, a lot of people just are done and they just want to know stuff and they're done. So anyway. All right. Yeah,
All right.
let's end that here. So we're
All
gonna
right.
transition back in five,
Welcome, Marco, on
four,
Instagram.
3, 2,
Just do it,
1.
Dorin.
We'll have to
All
get
right.
in position.
Okay.
All right.
Now, Marco on Instagram, sorry, I have to bring this up.
Mm-hmm.
He is part of this is a Would You Rather Doran that has
Oh yeah,
been
if you guys have any would you rather's, yeah, You guys might
So
have better
it's not
ones.
one he brought, but it's one we've come across recently. Now Marco and Pei, Pei,
Yeah, yeah.
Chu.
Been on the podcast, yeah.
Okay, right? So Marco and Pei, they're more of a backwards hat kind of guys.
Oh,
And I'm more of a forwards hat kind of guy.
yeah.
So the question to you, Doran, is are you part of the backwards hat gang or the forwards hat gang?
That's a good one, Nate. Because I know what they prefer, because I saw the drama on Instagram,
Oh, good.
and I could choose to side with them and shun you, or or I could just admit that yeah, I'm forward cap also.
No cap. You're forward cap.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Marco is left. No, I don't know. He's like, that's it. I'm done.
Blocked, unfriended, reported, flagged, ban this person. Um, is there any good would you rather that you would throw at me? I have one for you, Nate, from a videographer, like a videographer one. Like, would you rather have the worst, like the cheapest mirrorless camera, but the best lens, and be given an important project to film, and or would and like you have decent audio and this decent lighting in both
Okay.
scenarios, or
All
would you
right.
rather have like a really good camera, like a $10,000 camera, let's say, but like the worst lens on the market for it? That's not intentionally gimping it. So if it's like a full frame camera, I'm not saying like the worst APS-C lens that also gives you a horrible
Mm,
vignette, but like
okay.
the worst workable lens.
Okay. And how crappy is this? The worst mirrorless.
I don't know. Like
Okay. I
what's
don't. Is
like
that?
it doesn't have to be like the most ancient one, like the first one that came out whatever 10 years ago or
Mm,
whatever, but like the crappiest one you can get now on the market. So like it'll claim that it does 4K, but it does it at 15 FPS or something. Or it's got such a bad dynamic range that you can't film anything
okay.
that's not
Well,
properly lit.
in that case, I would go with the really expensive camera with just the worst lens, because if this expensive camera can film in RAW, I feel like I can adjust things, and as long as I get the focus right, and like you said, the lighting's decent, I think I'd be able to salvage a product more easily than, let's say, a small mirrorless with an amazing lens, but maybe it overheats often, or
Hmm.
it only films, like you say, reduced FPS. There's less flexibility. You can't film like 4K 120, so there's less flexibility. I feel with
Hmm.
the great lens but worse body. I'd rather get the
Hmm.
great body with just the really basic lens. I think that gives you more options.
Yeah, Mark agrees. I was curious what Mark would say. Nice. Okay, let me do a part two to that. Would you rather um let me think of the appropriate context for this so it makes sense. Like you have a 10K budget, would you get the one camera and one lens for that? Or would you get like multiple like middle of the road mirrorless? Like would you get Sony A7 threes, or would you get one Sony A1 basically? Or let's say the FX6, like the cinema line one,
Mm.
right? Um, so obviously that one doesn't weigh anything unless I give you a proper context, right? So the context
Yeah,
would
it depends what you're
be
filming entirely, right? And
so
Mark says, I already own that 10K camera set up with worst lens. LOL.
that's a good one. Oh, look into that FX3, buddy. Um, like the context would be you need like it would be a heck like it's a project that requires multiple camera angles and you can cheese it with the one camera because you would have to do like triple or quadruple the amount of retakes to simulate the other
Mm.
angles.
Hmm.
So would you rather have a better quality product that way, hypothetically better quality because of the higher price range, but put in 3 times the amount of work?
Oh, well, then I'd rather choose the middle of the road three bodies. If
Hmm.
it saves me on work,
I,
totally.
I don't know.
Seems
I
like the
would,
right tool for the job.
yeah. I mean, but if the client had the budget and time allowance, I would shoot with the other way around
Mm,
with the
just so
like
you
the
could
big
know, like,
setup, like the big
mm,
camera. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, I can see advantages to
Hmm.
both.
I've done both, so like not like I've filmed like I've done like work wise, like okay, let's retake, let me position differently, retake, let me position differently. But I've also just like okay, let's one take multicam done. The problem is, as a
Yeah.
solo guy, in each unique angle, you can control it and do something creative with it, move it. Whereas with the multicam, you're just most of them are stationary in the one you're operating. So, mm, an added twist.
Yeah. Karen says Nate doesn't have the patience. Yeah, Karen, I don't have the patience for that.
Ooh,
3 kids will do that. Oh, Karen, shots fired. It's
yeah,
true. My patience wears thin after having 3 kids.
nice.
Doran Doran's got kids too, so
Yeah.
I guess he just has more patience than me.
Uh, I'd rather film more than be home. No, not true. But my wife suspects it sometimes. Oh, all right. So, um, does anybody have any more questions for us? If not, we'll move on to talk about some industry stuff. Mark, you are
Mark
more
says,
creative. If you limit yourself with one, you can figure out how to get what you need with less. Yeah, yeah. I understand that. Yeah, that's kind of where I was hinting at too. I agree with that.
mm, see, and I guess if your client just wants it done quickly, then you can just hit boom, sync,
Mm-hmm.
chop it up. You don't need to worry about getting, because it's not just you doing it 3 times over. Potentially, it's like the talent doing it 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
It takes 3 times as long. So,
True.
you know,
So, like one clear example from my past experience is I had to do a music video and I had to use the one camera. It didn't make sense to set up like three other cameras. We also had a really small space. So with the one camera and on a gimbal, acting out the shots because it's just a 3 minute song that they're just like grooving to. It was really fun and easy for me to do it with one cam and just okay, let's do it from four different points of view or four different like settings. Like let's go outside on the deck, let's go inside in the building, let's go in the forest or whatever. Whereas let's
hmm
say if you would do a one taker, like if
yeah,
someone's doing a flash mob, you set up the stationary cameras to get the key points of people entering and doing stuff because it's a one taker. So different applications for
definitely.
different things, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Good points
All right, and I'm
for
not seeing
sure.
anything else on Facebook.
Yeah, nothing else on Instagram. Just Karen trying to troll me. All
All
right,
right, so then I will let me prepare. What do you want to talk about first, Nate? Do you wanna let's do the Sony A7 IV thing, eh?
sure.
All right, so I'm just gonna prep that. Give me a sec, and let's transition in three, two, one. Um,
All right.
yep. So that should be visible. Sony A7 IV is the new camera that just got announced. Both me and Nate are using A7 IIIs. I'm using A7 III currently to record. So are you, right?
Yes,
There you go.
correct.
Um, but the A7 IV came out, and we're licking our lips here. So let's see a comparison. Let me increase that there. Now that the Sony A7 IV is out, the A7 III, is it still worth buying? We run through main differences to find out. This is digitalcameraworld.com, their article. So the Sony A7 IV is now out. Sony sees the A7 IV as a logical development, all purpose. Okay, we don't need the intros. We know what's
Yeah,
going on. Let's go to the
yeah.
meat
Let's
of
get to the comparisons here.
yeah, resolution. Sony A7 IV 33 megapixel sensor, A7 III 24 megapixel sensor. Obviously more is theoretically better, but is it practical? Have you had the need for, man, I wish this was higher resolution.
No, I haven't had the need. And in fact, you know as well as I do, like the A7S series, they're what, only 12 megapixels,
Hmm.
right? So that the sensor, the pixels themselves, sensor can absorb more light. So as long as the noise reduction or like as long as the low light performance is the same or better, even with more megapixels,
Hmm.
I would go with the higher number. If it's in any way worse in low light, I would stick with the 24 megapixels.
Hmm.
I'm not shooting these photos that I'm blowing up to like the size of
Billboards.
a wall on a
Yeah.
print,
Yeah.
I'm more concerned about the video.
And even then, sharpness is a huge factor. So your lens matters a whole lot at
Totally.
that point. Yeah, I would agree with that. So that's just from a pure megapixel point of view. Obviously, if with those extra megapixels they have a bigger sampling area to do some video stuff, then we like it for that reason. But we'll get to that in a second.
Hmm.
Maximum ISO A7 IV, still video A7 III, so they look kind of the same. Sony says the new A7 IV has better noise control, but I assume that's an algorithm in camera, so it's like kind of software in camera done. At high ISO settings than the older A7 III. Nevertheless, the maximum is the same. So I actually saw, who did I see? Philip Bloom or Gerald Undone? I can't remember who I saw talk about this. I think it was Phil Bloom. They would rather have an option to turn off the camera noise, internal noise reduction, because while you get a noisier image, it retains detail and you can use your own denoising plugins to do a better job than the built-in body default setting, which
Mm.
I agree with. I think I would like that approach. So I can't remember if he said the A7 III has that and the A7 IV, A7S III has that and the A7 IV doesn't. I'll have to look into that. But definitely
Mm.
A7 III and 4 don't. Um, is it better though that it does better denoising? Yeah, probably.
I know. I guess so. I'm never shooting at those crazy amount of. I'm not like cranking it up to that high of an ISO where I'm shooting
Hmm.
in almost pitch black.
I've had
Uh,
I've had to do one music video that way because it was super low budget and we didn't have a budget for lights, which should have been an automatic. I'm not doing this, but I'm like, yeah, I'll do it anyway, whatever, money. Um, and it turned out pretty good. Here's my uh in-field experience with this. The problem is when you crank it up to a point where you're like, if I crank it up anymore, we're gonna get a lot of glitching because of and blockiness because of the algorithm removing stuff. You don't get a bunch of noise. You get a bunch of noise and a bunch of like glitching, pixelating stuff. That is unrecoverable. So you're left with two choices. Either don't crank it up that high and crank it up in post, and the noise gets digitally enhanced in post, and then you try and recover it that way. Um, but yeah, like I would rather not have the software try to do the stuff for me because with noise I can use a denoiser at half capacity and leave like half the noise in, and maybe that's more acceptable than having like blotchy pixelated stuff. Again, it's a very rare scenario that you get yourself in, and at that point, you might be asking yourself, why don't you invest in better lighting, or why don't you have better logistics where you're filming in these conditions? But for the rare cases where it did happen, I wish the software would leave me alone.
mm. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from for
Yeah.
sure.
But for most standard users, a welcome thing, most likely. Continuous shooting. This is photo stuff. We both don't really dabble in this. Awesome. Um, Obviously like
Well, look,
10 times
yeah,
performance.
that's still great. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I'm trying to get like a picture of my kids running or something quick happening like that. And sure, it's the same frames per second, but having that ginormous buffer is crazy. You can just go infinitely, basically. That's amazing.
Hmm. Just a quick comment from Mark on Facebook. The articulating screen on the A7 IV wins hands down. Doesn't matter what A7 III has or not. After having an articulating screen, I do agree with that. But like I don't think that's a deal breaker though. So that's why we're kind
Yep.
of we're just looking at this from because we're a 7.3 users, so we're just curious to see like me and Nate probably have a question of is it worth the upgrade? So we're kind of trying to analyze that.
Yeah, in most cases, I would agree, Mark. I'd say I would prefer the articulating screen that flips out. You know, if you're standing in for the talent and you want to see what you look like on the screen yourself, and you don't want to record a test video, it's great to be able to see that little preview. I could see a potential downside though, and an advantage to the tilting screen. For my gimbal,
Hmm.
the way it's positioned when it's powered on, the arm behind doesn't block the screen, and having it to flip out to tilt at all means you have to it's like more off balance. It's not keeping the center of mass in the middle.
Hmm.
Whereas with tilting, I can just tilt it a little bit to perfectly aim right at my face. Um, and both of these, the whole debate can be remedied by just getting an external monitor,
Yeah.
right? That you can flip around either way. It's giant, but I'd say for just using just the camera, run and gun, very like quick, easy to set up. The tilting screen is nicer if you have a gimbal that where you want to keep the weight right in the middle, and you can just
Hmm.
tilt it a little bit up or down depending on what you need.
100%.
So
Yeah,
that's one advantage.
I agree with that. Yeah. Stabilization. A7 IV. Oh, let me scroll one more down. A7 IV has 5.5 steps, active mode standard. The other one has 5 steps. Both cameras have 5-axis stabilization. A7 IV boasts a slight improvement in stabilization. Awesome.
So 10% increase. Okay,
Yeah.
that's not that much
Uh,
to me.
yeah. Well, I don't know. Are they using, so they're using a different sensor. I don't know if they're using a different processor, because isn't this something that the processor does? So if they were able to squeeze 10% out more from the same processor, I think that's impressive.
Well, I think it's a new processor because it can take that giant image buffer. So I think that is a main
That's true.
function of the processor, right? So I think it is a new processor for sure.
Okay. Creative styles, creative looks, creative styles. Sony has introduced a collection of creative looks with A7 IV. These seem more useful for videographers and still photographers, those who prefer to shoot raw. Um, have you ever used creative looks or styles? It's like a filter.
No, I
I
mean,
know.
we'll change picture profile,
Yeah,
but that's different than this.
yeah. So it's not picture
So
profile. This is like a specific creative look already. Like not
it's
a.
kind of like a LUT,
It's
right?
kind of like a lot. Yeah, it's a very yeah. I see a lot of wedding photographers use autumn leaves, which makes everything look very monochromatic brown and dark. Like I personally think it's not appealing, but it looks like an aged photo, like a memory, which makes sense for wedding photo, but because it's so crisp and so like modern looking, like very high resolution, I don't know. I feel a huge disconnect. Like this doesn't look like an ancient memory. This just looks like a good picture that's with a faded effect on it. I don't know.
Mm,
Doesn't do it for me. I like vibrant pictures,
mm.
but that's just me. But yeah, people like slap on a creative look and never have to do post editing for color. That works for some people. Autofocus. More point. Wait, A7R 4? What? Okay, that's a typo. I assume this
Yeah,
is
I
the
think they mean
A7
A7
IV.
IV because yeah, further down they mentioned the A7 IV offers blah blah blah.
Yeah. AF points, human, animal, bird, real-time tracking, AF assist, focus map, breathing compensation. So we actually had a BCPVA meeting with Sony representatives that talked to us about some of these things. So the breathing compensation, do you know what that is?
Yeah, I watched some YouTube videos on that,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks really cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
But it's another software thing that's doing a crop on the image, so
Hmm.
eh, depends on the
That would be
uses.
harder to that would be harder to do post though, trying to scale it exactly
Oh yeah,
correctly,
100%.
right?
Um, and all of this human animal stuff, this is for photo only. Because that's the thing I asked the Sony
Mm,
representatives. I'm like, can I get an eye tracking in video mode in either one of these models because it's on the A7S 3 and FX3 and up, and
Okay.
they're like no due to hardware like we would want to, but no.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, more autofocus points, good. Um, doesn't make a huge difference for me. Like A7 III is already like pretty solid with focusing. I'm super happy with it.
Hmm.
Video. So A7 IV does a 4K 60, but it's Super 35, so it's cropped.
Yeah.
A7 III does 4K 30, but the A7 IV does 10-bit 422, and it's got Cinetone. The other one does 8-bit 420. So obviously A7 IV is way better there. Like if we were to ignore the crop in 4K 60, 4K 30 would be ultimately superior to A7 III, right?
Mm.
Depending on
Oh
what your
yeah.
needs are. So I think this is the most appealing thing I see with the A7 IV for me personally. The extra
Mhm.
resolution frame rate and extra um bit information, color depth.
Yeah. Yeah, that is really nice. And I haven't run into a situation where I've had to like tweak the footage so much that I'm like, oh no, I'm pushing it past its limits. But just having that
Yeah.
there is great. The
Green
highest quality
screen.
you can record in, the best. Yeah, green screen.
It would make keying out green screen easier, and I've had a rough
Hmm.
time keying out some green screen with the A7 III, so this
Mm.
would be like my second choice, but it's very situational. And S-Cinetone is something I need to look more into, but apparently it's really good.
That's awesome. Hold on. I'm gonna grab an A7 III body so we can compare it to the mode dial in a second here.
Sure. Okay. Production value, Nate.
Oh, never mind. It's all the way downstairs. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
run and go grab it.
Oh, so oh yeah, you have two A7 IIIs. You're filming off of one, but you have a second one, eh?
Yeah, second one's
Yeah.
still downstairs.
Yeah, I've got two A7 IIIs, and I just got an FX3, and I'm so excited. Which is like,
Very cool.
are you familiar with the FX3?
It's is that like the same as the A7S series, but it's like a cinema flavor?
It's like hardware except for the body is identical A7S III, but it's a more cinematic body. Like it's got a top handle with two XLRs, and it screws in so solid in place that that's something that I've been wanting really badly. Um, so yeah, like low light beast, 4K 120, all that jazz. Um, just shot with
Does
it
it
first
have
time today, actually.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Does it have unlimited record time?
Yes.
Oh,
Which
that's really
I
nice.
think the A7 IV also has, which is another like big winner in
Oh,
my books.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Um, but anyway, yeah, let's come back to this. So mode dial. What would you like to compare, Nate? Like the image or talking or what?
So you can see the dial the most on the right there. That's usually the exposure compensation dial.
Hmm.
I don't know about you, but I never use that dial. So this is just a more
I have to
generic
look at
dial,
my
and that
camera.
little
Does it have it? I don't know. Yeah, I like I have never used it.
right. So this dial you can actually remap to things, and then the little button on top you can click it in to like lock it. So if you make an adjustment, you can lock it. It's just another way to interact with the hardware. That's one less thing you have to do in a menu, and it frees up the back dial to other things if you want.
Hmm.
Another thing is you'll notice if you look at the main dial with like the PASM, auto, all that
Yep.
stuff, there's no movie mode there, right? There's another little toggle. There's like a sub wheel below that where you can choose between photo, movie, and then S and Q.
Wait, Nate. Oh, this is an A7 IV body.
Yes.
Okay, well I was looking for that second wheel, but like this guy has it, not the A7 III.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I was confused. I'm like, yeah, Didn't ever see a second one there. I thought we were talking about the A7 III body. Okay, so it
No.
doesn't have a video mode, and why? Where is it?
So I like this because instead of having all your settings in photo mode and then you have to rotate to your video mode, change all your settings again. This way, if you're in, say, manual mode, you're snapping some photos, you just quickly toggle it to video mode and it retains all those settings that you were shooting photos with, and then you can just keep going. I
Hmm.
prefer that to having a separate movie mode that you have to like rotate further and then have to change all your settings.
Mm-hmm. I see. Okay. Viewfinder, higher quality and up to 120 FPS. Wow. How much do you use the viewfinder for for video?
Video, occasionally, if it makes sense for me to be holding it up to my face with the angle I want to get. Um, but if it was this higher quality, I'd probably like check focus with it more often,
Hmm.
honestly.
Yeah, I think that's what I've done. If I didn't have an external monitor, I use the viewfinder for focus, or if it's like incredibly sunny and I can't see the LCD.
Mhm.
So
So
awesome. Yeah.
it's a big plus.
Vari angle tilting. We discussed that.
Yeah. So we agree that tilting is inferior in most ways,
Hmm.
except for maybe on a gimbal
Yeah.
where tilting might be nicer
Hmm.
to keep it in line.
And storage. The A7 III had two UHS 2. The A7 IV has also a CF Express Type A. Wait, didn't the A7 III have only one of them that was the two? The other one was the one? Am I recalling this wrong? What happens
I
if
think
I
you,
open a new window right here? Is this going to show up on stream?
yeah,
If I
it's a new
search
tab because it's not a new window,
A7
it's a new tab.
III.
You can look up the specs.
Yeah, because I'm just like, do they have a new model? Then I don't. Focus, where is it? Viewfinder, monitor, flash, interface, media. So slot one is, yeah, see? Slot one
Mm.
is UHS2 and the other one's UHS I, like the one. Yeah. Okay, so that's another typo. So, okay, digital camera world needs to,
Game.
yeah. But yeah, the extra CF Express Type A, I'm never gonna get this card probably. I don't think I need to. It's more expensive,
Mm.
less storage, higher bit rates, but we'll get to that in a second if they cover it. Nope, they're going to conclusions. Connectors, 10 gigabits, USB 3.2, Gen 2 Type A, yeah, Wi-Fi, HDMI. Oh, right. So the A7 IV, okay, they're done their thing. I'm just gonna go here and go to the A7 IV. Doesn't it have a full HDMI now?
Yeah, full size HDMI.
How
You
do you
don't
feel
need
about
to
that?
micro or mini. I love it. It should be the default. The less like quirky different types of HDMI cables
Mm-hmm.
the better, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
This is a huge one for me. It's got H.265, which is a bit controversial is not the right word, but it's mixed bag, let's say, mixed feelings on
Mm,
this. Um, and I saw a bunch of videos because I was trying to figure out because the FX3 or A7S3 has the same thing. Like this will be the smallest file size with this quality and resolution, but it's ultra compressed, which is like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? All the
mm,
tests I have seen from the pros on YouTube at least, there's not much difference between the H.264 and H.265 when it comes to details, including in fast moving shots. Uh, the SI,
mhm.
which is like the insane bitrate one, like 600 megabits. That one is your if it's like you're filming like sports or a green screen, if and you have the storage for and the bitrate for it, But
Hmm.
I've the biggest issue with H.265 is some machines and some CPUs specifically struggle playing back this, especially 4K. So I had to test my machine to see how it handles it, and it handles it just fine. So I'm happy to go with this and not have to buy the new cards. Unless I
Yeah, that's
specifically
nice.
need this, then I have to buy the really expensive cards. But I don't need this because uh, this is specifically for FX3. It does the 4K 120 just fine.
Mm-hmm.
I have yet to test it to see how it looks like, but based on other people's tests, works fine. But yeah, 4K 60 is probably the number one thing I would have wanted as an upgrade. Um, 4K 120 is kind of overkill. It's very situational. You want it that slow.
Mm.
Because like wedding stuff at 120 is way too slow. Like like a 5 times slowed down kiss just is looks awkward.
What about the bouquet toss though?
Yeah, because that's a fast moving
Yeah,
thing. Yeah, but if it's just them
yeah,
like really slow walking, like I don't know. At least for my editing style, slow stuff like magical moments, 60p is enough. Slow it down to 40%. 120 is like for really fast stuff that you need to like appreciate everything. Um, but yeah, if I didn't have a budget for an FX3, I would have probably gone for A7 IV as my main cam. Yeah, definitely. And here's so let's see here. Recording limit unlimited. This is
so
the
nice.
second reason I would get this because I don't need that external monitor anymore. Although it's a huge plus and it's very useful, I would this would open up more like minimalistic run and gun options for me. And in
Definitely.
fact, today with the FX3, I didn't use an external monitor, and I felt great about it.
Because it can record internally with plenty of
Yeah, but from a focus
bitrate.
point of view, it shows you that it's focusing on the eyeball. That's the main reason why I wanted and why I didn't choose the A7 IV. Because even though I had a budget for a better camera, if this guy would have had the eye track, I would have gotten this guy, the A7 IV. Like, yeah, 4K
Mm.
120, whatever. I'm not gonna get it. 4K 60 is plenty. I want the eye tracking in video mode. Didn't have it. Because I've had times where, for some reason, it focuses on the tip of the nose or like on the ear or what other high contrast things it finds. Because like shade, like glasses might like, or depending on your lighting, like some some harsh shadows or something might not make it focus on the eye. So, or if I try and lock in focus, because let's say I go with manual focus, because I'm confident in the shot, and then the subject like leans forward to check their notes, and they remain lean forward. Like, okay, well that's an interview shot that's fuzzy now. It's focused on
Mm.
on his shoulders and not on his like eyes anymore. So,
Right.
yeah. Um. So Nate, when would you get this? The A7 IV? Would you sell one of your A7 IIIs and get this?
Oh, I don't know. I'm torn. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of great incremental upgrades and nice quality of life things like the articulating screen, the unlimited record time, 4K 60 at the Super 35 crop. Um, so there's like a bunch of little things that are nice about it. Oh, and
Wait,
we didn't even talk about the new menu system.
is it touchscreen? What is this
It's
photo?
touchscreen and it's got the new Sony menu,
Hmm. Yeah, I've
which
I've I've
looks
seen
really
that.
nice.
Yeah, it was the same in the S3 and the FX3. Yeah, much nicer and easier to use.
Yeah.
So this is sorry, let me just put it to Canadian. How much Canadian is this from B&H? 3,000. Okay, I see.
And how much is the FX3?
uh, 5,000, I think. Um, but it comes, yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you order from B&H, it's 4,800, but with the importing fees, it's like 5,000. But with
Mm.
what I bought from here, I think it was 5,000. I'm pretty sure. Um, but it comes with this top handle that has three inputs actually. I don't know if you knew that. You see, it says input three here, and there's this little flap.
Is
You
that
can,
mic jack?
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. So you can. Okay, I'm trying to drag and not click. Yeah, so you can put like you can have your audio coming in from the mixer, you can have audio from your wireless, and then you can have audio from your shotgun as a backup. And they're four-channel audio. That's your three inputs right there. So I think that's like insane. If you would have gotten the A7S III and the separate module that's like this, it would be more expensive than just getting this. Like
Hmm.
this is $600 cheaper. Like after taxes, I saved $600 by getting this. And the top, I don't know where I can get. Yeah, that's a good angle. The top screws in. Like the body
That's
has
nice.
several quarter-inch screws, like six of them, I think, and two of them are used
Hmm.
for this to screw in, so you can confidently like take this and use it, and yeah, it feels so nice. Like
That's great.
I see no need to get a camera body right now for this thing.
Like a cage.
Like a cage. Sorry, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
That biggest downside doesn't have a viewfinder. I think that's the biggest
Oof.
downside. But again, like how much do I use that? Not really.
Yeah, so basically strip the things that are great for photos. Like the view there's no viewfinder and it's only 12 megapixels. So if you're trying to get any like doesn't even have a photo mode.
Oh no, it does the exact same photos except you would do it like without the viewfinder, you would just do it with a screen. So it's got where is it? Monitor EVF optional, not included. You could get one that goes on top of the multi interface shoe.
Yeah.
But
Oh, hold
obviously,
on. Did scroll back up. Did it say effective is only like 10 megapixels up to the sensor? Actual and effective.
yeah.
Okay. So really you're you're shooting yourself in the foot for photos with that.
Oh yeah.
I know it's not meant for that, but like
Unless you're doing low light
that's a
photography.
yeah, unless you're doing low light
Yeah.
in that case, sure. But oof,
This is
like
exactly what the A7S series has been from the get-go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So no, if I would take photos, I would use my A7 III, I think, for photos. Although, again, I haven't had enough experience to see if the focus would screw me over and not be on the eye and be on the nose for photos. I haven't taken enough portrait photography to notice that. But if I would notice an issue with that with A7 III, I would go for the FX3 or A7S III to take photos just for reliability on focus. And the biggest, like they say this is a cinema camera, and the only reason most people say no is because it doesn't have built-in ND filters like every other one, FX6, FX9.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
So that's what they've taken out. This being like the lower tier
yeah,
FX
because the
series.
body kind of structure and even the feeling and the color of it is matching the FX6 kind of the higher cinema line. But then they took the small form factor of the A7S III and its specs. So in order to sacrifices had to be made. But this, for me, this is the ideal camera, and especially this guy here. This, you see this?
Looks like some vents for a fan so it doesn't
Yes.
overheat.
Yeah. So this is
Yeah.
the main difference between the audio thing that it comes with and the extra screw holes. Is this is even less of an overheating issue compared to the A7S III because its body has only heat sinks, whereas this has an active fan. So people have
Yeah.
done 4K 120 with this for like 6 hours, and then they got bored and they're like, yeah, this thing's not overheating. Bye. With the lid out. If the lid, like the screen, if the LCD is like pressed against it, I think 3 hours and it overheats in like full sunlight in like Texas or something. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, it's Mark's thinking about getting this. Yeah, from what I've used so far, like I'm content with this, and this is like a future-proof camera for like at least 5 years. 4K 120 at 422 10 bit. Like, what more do you want?
Yeah, that's great.
H.265, so like storage, like today I recorded. How long was the recording today? Mm, I think continuously it was like 26 clips filmed in I don't know in like 6 hours today, and it's like 38 gigs, which is
Oh,
like so infinitely small compared to what I would get off of
yeah,
a Ninja.
yeah, no kidding.
Oh man. Um, but yeah, that's that comparison. How are we doing on time? Yeah, we're gonna wrap up soon. What would be our last talking point? We've lost pretty much all our viewership. I think Mark's the only one hanging around. Good old Mark,
It's getting
yeah.
late. People need their sleep. I don't
Yeah,
blame them.
yeah.
We record and stream at a not ideal time for a lot of people.
I blame us. What did you have here? Oh, the Ronin. Yeah, let's quickly talk about that. I don't want to watch the YouTube video. I actually didn't fully look into the Ronin, so
Yeah,
um,
Mark, have you looked into the DJI Ronin 4D?
combo kit. There's an 8K and a 6K combo kit. I guess let's go with the 6K first, assuming that would be the most accessible for us. First of all, looks. It's an amalgamation Frankenstein looking thing.
It's like a
That would
Terminator
definitely
weapon.
it would definitely impress a client, I think. Yeah, so like there's so much stuff here. I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah.
Lens mount DL. Is that Leica?
No, I think that's I I don't know 100% actually, but I know that this is meant to work specifically the best with DJI's own lenses.
Oh. See, so that's
So
already a
it's probably
limiting
the same as their
factor.
drone. Yeah, so
Yeah.
they do include the gear to like put on focus gears so that you can focus pull any cinema lens or whatever.
Hmm.
But right now they just have their smaller, lighter, like three prime lenses that work the best with it. That like the autofocus is really good with.
Dude, 9 stops of ND is insane. That's cool.
Yeah, the
Um,
built-in ND filters.
internal filter holder, ISOs. This is not a low light camera.
No,
It's
not
got
the same levels like a Sony.
it's got rolling shutter. I think even Canon has better than 12,000 max.
But you can't judge a camera solely on specs, as we know.
No, yeah. Well, no, but
No,
I'm trying to judge it from a would I give up my A7 III for this?
okay, okay.
So for low light, which is the main reason I got the A7 III, no. Um, although 14 stops of dynamic range, I guess that depends on what kind of profiles it has.
Yeah, well, you can shoot in RAW, so
It has a built-in gimbal, that's why it looks funny.
yeah, including
Is it a custom gimbal
the
or
four
is it one of
axis.
their gimbals?
What do you mean? Yeah, it's a DJI manufactured gimbal with the up and down gimbal part as well, not just a three axis. That's the fourth axis.
Oh, it's a four-axis one. So it's not like, oh, you
Yeah,
can attach your RS2 or whatever.
no,
It's not using a system they already have separately.
they might have repurposed it, but it
Hmm.
does have that fourth dimension. So if you're, it won't have that bobbing effect. You
Huge.
have to walk really smooth. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
massive.
I think that would be the most attractive thing for me. And the fact that it's all in one package. Um, Sorry, just give me a quick second. Oh, yeah, not important. Yeah, all of that. What load capacity? Gimbal load capacity 960 grams? Oh, because it's just for the lens.
Yeah.
I see. Specs 6K at 48 FPS. Okay, that's an interesting number. 42 HQ at 66K. Okay, so yeah, resolution wise, it goes insane. It does the 120 at 4K, DCI even. Um, okay, there we go. It's got HDR, HLG, and Rec 709. Okay. It could do output via USB? Interesting. I have not heard of that. Oh no, they have proprietary SDs and CF Express Type B? I know there's a Type B. Yeah, so yeah, you would have to switch out your entire storage system too, so
Yeah, kind of like we use the Inspire 2 briefly, and that has a proprietary SSD, right?
yeah.
So it's kind of like that. It does use the same batteries as the Inspire 2 though, interestingly.
Okay.
So I guess that
Um
you can save a little bit of money if you already have like a fancy DJI drone.
HDMI 1.4 is the non 4K one, right? Like 2.0 is 4K.
Uh,
So that's
okay.
interesting.
I don't know.
I think so. Don't know why it's not 2.0. Audio connectors, really? 3.5 mil. Okay, so you won't be able to plug in an XLR on this thing. So this thing is built to be mobile. It's not meant to be on a tripod, eh?
No, and in fact, even if you turn the gimbals all the way off, if like to try and lock down the camera, there's still a tiny bit of give in it. So I heard from someone who's been using the camera, the beta version and then the finished version for like the last
Mm-hmm.
couple months.
Mm-hmm.
They asked DJI like, can you just like shoot it locked off on a tripod like a regular camera? And they're like, well, yes, but
Mm.
if you like move it a little bit or something, there's still a tiny bit of give in the gimbal, even if it's not active and turned off. So depending
Mm.
on what you're shooting, you might not want to use that. Yeah, like these action images show, it's very much meant to be like a run and gun, one person. You
Mm-hmm.
don't need to use these giant rigs. You can do it all yourself.
Right, but I wonder how heavy this thing is. Because it's huge. So if you don't have a supporting system for weight, um,
Yeah, I don't think it's meant to have a supporting system. Yeah, I don't know how heavy it is. But like the overall footprint of it is actually like from these pictures, I thought it was ginormous. But when
yeah.
it's all folded up like that, it's actually barely smaller than like a Red Epic with like a
I
small
mean,
lens.
looking at this guy holding it, like, I don't know, it looks huge to me. Um, but anyway, does it say, since it's an all-in-one unit, does it say weight? Let's see. Physical weight. Wow,
So 10 pounds, I guess, everything in.
10 pounds.
I need some, like, I'm trying to compare. I don't know how much my gimbal and camera weigh together.
Probably
Probably less,
less than
right?
4. Yeah, 10 pounds is wow. Yeah, I would that would be an incredible arm workout. Yeah. Like
You
people were
probably need,
complaining of just the what do you call it? DJI Ronin S was too heavy. This thing is like, huh, hold my beer. Let's see, Weeble S. Okay, it's not being sold anymore. Never mind. Can't look it up. But anyway, what was the price point of this thing?
looks like
7,200
9 grand.
US, 9 grand Canadian. But it includes a gimbal, a monitor, a focus pulling, ND filters,
Shooting in RAW.
higher resolution in RAW
Yeah.
internally. But not, I don't know. I don't know how good it would be in low light. Yeah, I mean, I see the main application for this to be like for behind the scenes shooting for big productions, or if it's the dedicated run and gun like audience cam or something at a concert.
Yeah, I
Um,
can see it for like indie filmmakers too.
yeah. But I would see this as being complementary to a big production. I don't think a solo videographer, like I can't see myself ever limiting myself to just this.
Yeah, you don't really have the flexibility of many lenses. It's kind
Yeah.
of just three DJI primes and other
Like
small
you can't put a
primes.
200 mil on this. How are you going to use the you can't.
Yeah.
So some things you have to film from a distance. Like a wedding, you can't just go like and feet away from the bride being like, yeah, this 10K rig, this 6K. Okay. Interesting. 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 All right, so let's take it off the presentation screen in three, two, one. And stream-wise, we are almost at 2 hours, which is nice. Yeah, it was our first Facebook and Instagram live stream. Facebook's all gone to bed. Do you have to bounce the gimbal? Asks Mark. That is interesting because you would just have to bounce the lens. I assume you would have to. I don't know.
I think if you're using like different third-party lenses, then yes, but I believe all the three DJI primes that they come with are all like so close to the same weight that you don't need to rebalance the gimbal. No, because that's the only thing that you're changing about the gimbal itself is the lens. So I don't think you would, no.
I'm just gonna quickly Google search that. Can you balance DJI 40? The tilt axis uses dual symmetric motors, whereas both pan and axis roll are designed with an additional stiffness buffer. The compact and portable. Okay, that's cool. You're not answering my question. Okay, seems like no one's asked or answered this question, so yeah, I don't know. Doesn't look like it gives you many options on it. Because it would be awkward to use the whole thing to tilt and test out stuff. I don't know. I'm okay
Yeah.
with my regular
So for right
gimbal.
now, I'd think probably not
Yeah.
because you're not changing the weight enough. And if you did, they could add that in software with a firmware update or something.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah. We didn't
Um.
really touch on the LiDAR aspect too.
No idea what that is.
So another kind of crazy thing about that camera is it has a LiDAR sensor on top. And, iPhones have had it for a couple years. That's how they like intelligently guess which parts of the photo to blur out to do that fake depth of
Oh.
field thing, right? The
Okay.
portrait mode.
Yeah.
Um, so it uses LiDAR sensors. So this camera has a LiDAR sensor that's spitting out LiDAR all the time. And what it can do is if you're trying to pull focus on something, well, first of all, it can just enhance the autofocus
Mhm.
because it can sense where on the frame is exactly how far away when it bounces back. So in lots of situations, the autofocus is supposed to be really good. But another thing it can do is when you're manually pulling focus, there's like a little waveform almost where it will show you at the exact distance that things on the screen are. So if you're manually pulling the focus, you can see exactly where that person's face is. So if you want to smoothly go from that person's face to something in the background, you can much more easily nail those focus pulls because there's that distance scale representation. It's like scrolling from two parts on a ruler.
Mhm.
So you can just go like, boom, ease it to right there instead of just relying on focus peaking or squinting at the screen.
Hmm.
That's like an extra tool that can make it so you could do less takes potentially if the focus puller didn't quite nail their shot.
Hmm. That's cool. Interesting. So definitely what I appreciate the most about it is the fact that they've gone and been innovative about this. So trying to put all these extra features in, like the most majority of the comments I saw on different forums and different Facebook groups of videographers are very cool. We're gonna wait for version two, and version
Mm.
two we're gonna jump on because that's gonna fix a lot of the problems. So, but definitely, yeah. Uh, Tip of the hat to DJI for doing this. And I just quickly like looked up the low light issue. They say it's good in low light because of the LiDAR thing, but also because it has a dual ISO that kicks in at 5,000.
Mm. Okay.
So if that's the case, then that means their 12,000 ISO is probably going to be pretty clean,
Mm.
and usable, as is. So in that case, yeah, it can do like moderate low light, I would say.
Mm.
So that's pretty good. Again, they probably were thinking like, is someone going to film werewolves at on a moonless night? No, this is not who this camera is made for. Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, I think, yeah, I don't see any more interactive stuff on the Facebooks. How does Instagram look like? Are people like throwing in the
It's
towel?
quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's going to bed.
All right. Well, if you're still listening, think now's the last time to say anything. If not, you can wish us good night. This was a blast, and I'm happy that we did our first live. Woo! Congrats, Nate.
Congrats, Dorin. That was fun. It's
Mm-hmm.
fun playing Would You Rather and chatting about cameras.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And yeah, if you ever are considering that A7 IV, let me know, Nate. That would be exciting.
Hmm.
I'd love to know your feedback if you ever get your hands on one of those, or maybe your workplace would want to get that as an upgrade. Mark says good night. Thank you, buddy. See you
Good
around and
night.
let me know when you get an FX3. Dude, we should
Hey,
both bring our FX3s to the amazing hunt. I want to do that on a non-rainy day. Yeah. All right. So, thank you very much for hanging out with us on our first live podcast episode. This is going to go on YouTube, so thank you for watching on YouTube. And for anyone else, yeah, throw us some would you rather questions and we'll answer them next time we do something like this.
yeah. All right. Peace out.
You're not going to plug us in? Follow us on Spotify or whatever? Apple
Yeah, I
Pie?
can do that. Oh, yeah. I don't have, usually I have a script in front of me, but let me see. This has been the Nate and Doran podcast. Thank you for listening. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts, or on YouTube, where you can watch the video version. Uh, be sure to subscribe to not miss an episode. And yeah, take care.
Good night.